As the aftermath from Clash at the Castle continues to be felt and the road to King and Queen of the Ring rolls on, we welcome you to Bakersfield, California. We're inside the Mechanics Bank Arena for your Thursday night edition of SmackDown. And right here tonight in Cali, two former best friends, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They got a lot to get off their chest. They will meet face to face in the middle of the ring later tonight. These two men have been at odds since the month of February. They'll be in the ring later tonight here on SmackDown. And the Queen of the Ring tournament kicked off on Monday Night Raw. It continues here tonight on SmackDown. The Women's United States Champion, Kairi Sane, goes one-on-one with the Judgment Day's Liv Morgan in a first-round Queen of the Ring matchup. That is going down in the Queen of the Ring tournament. And then in the King of the Ring tournament, Liv Morgan's boyfriend, Dirty Dominik Mysterio, the Cruiserweight champion himself, will take on a recent rival in the phenomenal AJ Styles in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament right here on SmackDown. Inside the Mechanics Bank Arena, live from Bakersfield, California, one man who's got to be in some mood stemming out of Clash at the Castle, the Prince, Finn Balor, is on the scene. It was back in Glasgow, Scotland at Clash at the Castle, where Finn Balor thought he had all the stars aligned. He challenged Ilya Dragunov for the heavyweight championship of the world. But as we found out off the Clash at the Castle kickoff show, the entirety of the Judgment Day banned from ringside for the World Heavyweight Championship matchup on that night. We speculated during the contest how that might have thrown off the game plan of Finn Balor, who had heavily relied on the Judgment Day just to get himself to Glasgow in the first place. Balor had taken care of the threat of Damian Priest on the Monday Night Raw prior, but Balor did not take into account what he would have to do if the Judgment Day were not allowed at ringside. Balor giving Ilya Dragunov a fight. We take nothing away from the talents of the Prince, but in the end, it was Ilya Dragunov delivering the H-bomb to Finn Balor and leaving Glasgow, Scotland, still the heavyweight champion of the world. Well, Finn Balor walking down the aisle tonight, I am sure, with purpose. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, not the only ones here in Bakersfield with something to get off their chest. The once #1 contender, now at the back of the line. What's on the mind of Finn Balor? Oh, wait a minute! Finn Balor has got some company! Bakersfield all over Finn Balor here tonight. But main event, Jey Uso is in the house! Well, these two men with a tale as old as time, a story still yet to be finished. And Jey Uso marching down the aisle, eyes locked on the Judgment Day's Finn Balor. with nothing to say, attacking Jey Uso, probably because he knows everything Jey Uso just said is absolutely true. Jey Uso now dishing a shot right back. Oh, and Uso did not come here to be assaulted by Finn Balor. Finn wants a fight. Jey's gonna give him one. Well, Jey Uso, very true in his sentiments. Remember, about a month ago here on SmackDown, Balor attacking Jimmy Uso backstage. That distracted Jey, who was inside of the ring, and cost Jey Uso a shot to move one step closer to clash at the castle. These two men with a hell of a lot of history here, and clearly by what is happening before our very eyes, it is far, far from done. Balor out here spewing a bunch of nonsense from my estimation about how it wasn't a fair fight when, on the contrary, it was exactly a fair fight for both men. Finn Balor, a sore loser, coming up short of Clash of the Castle, but Jey Uso wasn't going to stand to hear for it. Things are breaking down here as we kick things off on Thursday Night SmackDown live from Bakersfield. I'm sure Jey Uso came prepared, knowing things might break down into a game of fisticuffs, and he's ready to fight Finn Balor any day of the week. Balor on the outside. Here comes Uso. Jey Uso shutting up Finn Balor before his ridiculous spew can continue. Oh, wait a minute. Uso, watch your back. JD McDonough in the ring with a steel chair. JD attacking Jey. And it's almost as if the words of Jey Uso moments ago got under the skin of JD McDonough. Even though, again, Jey Uso exactly right in his sentiments. Oh, McDonough attacking Jey. Headbutt now. Uso going for a ride on the steel chair. The Judgment Day are never too far behind. And Jey Uso has been reminded of that time and time again as of late on Thursday Night SmackDown. Oh, hold on here. Jey Uso's family isn't far behind either. Here's Big Jim, Jimmy Uso. Well, I'll tell you what, the Judgment Day have yet to defeat the Usos over the last few months. When the Usos are aligned, they've done their damnedest to divide and conquer. Jimmy Uso now using that steel chair on the Irish Ace. JD McDonough in the drop zone. Big Jim on top with an Uso splash. Things going haywire here on Thursday Night SmackDown. A chaotic start live from Bakersfield. Jimmy Uso taking out the trash. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we begin to move on because coming up in moments, we will decide the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship of the world. We take you back to the beginning of this eliminator when the young OG, Javon Evans, took on a former Cruiserweight champion in the Cardiac Kid, Wes Lee. These two men have teamed up on SmackDown in recent memory, but a couple of weeks ago was an exhilarating one-on-one contest. Javon Evans looking for that breakout moment here on the blue brand. And although Wes Lee gave him a fight, the young OG soared through the skies and punching his ticket to this Cruiserweight Championship #1 contenders bout. Last time out here on SmackDown, LWO partners Dragon Lee and his mentor Rey Mysterio collided in one hell of a Lucha Libre battle. These two men were moving a mile a minute. The feet were rarely on the ground in this contest. Rey Mysterio showing Dragon Lee why he may have taught Dragon Lee many tools, but he hasn't taught Dragon Lee everything he knows. Unfortunately for Mysterio, Dragon Lee's resilience and perseverance was enough to push him through the finish line and punch his ticket to this upcoming matchup. Coming up in moments here on SmackDown, who will be the next to challenge Dominik Mysterio for the Cruiserweight Championship? The LWO's Dragon Lee meets the young OG Javon Evans. This should be one high-octane matchup coming up next here in Bakersfield. This summer, destiny awaits. On Sunday, July 6th, from T-Mobile Park, in the heart of the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington, WWE presents a night where careers are changed forever. King and queen of the ring. A tournament built on tradition, fueled by ambition, and crowned in glory. Superstars will battle through the brackets, but only two will rise to claim the throne and wear the crown. Who will make history? Who will rule the ring? We find out live on July 6th at WWE King and Queen of the Ring. I still see how we're back live on Thursday Night SmackDown. And things are about to go high risk, high reward, all in the name of earning a future Cruiserweight Championship matchup. The young OG, Javon Evans, made his debut on SmackDown by saving Dragon Lee from an assault from Dominik Mysterio. A couple of months later, Evans and Dragon Lee now meet for a shot at Dirty Dom himself.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Greensboro, North Carolina, weighing in at 170 pounds,
Javon Evans has already accomplished so much in a short amount of time. This kid is only 21 years old, and he has taken the wrestling world by storm over the last couple of years, whether it's been in the WWE or elsewhere. But Javon Evans looking to climb the ladder of success here on SmackDown. The only thing standing in his way are Dragon Lee and Dominik Mysterio. And Dragon Lee wants that same opportunity.
And his opponent, representing the LWO from Jalisco, Mexico, weighing in at 165 pounds,
Well, you want to talk about accomplishing so much in a short amount of time. You look back to last fall where Dragon Lee made his debut on SmackDown, and the night of that debut, won the WWE Tag Team Championship with Dominik's father, Rey Mysterio. Dragon Lee knows what it's like to be in the ring with Dirty Dom. He pinned Mysterio a couple of months ago with a six-man tag team matchup here on SmackDown, and again fell short to Dominik Mysterio on the first SmackDown of the season after WrestleMania. Dragon Lee looking to get back inside the squared circle with the Judgment Day representative himself with that very Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, two incredible talents. I got one question. Who wants it more? Dominik Mysterio with his own business to handle later tonight, but I'm sure he's keeping a keen eye on who's going to be the next #1 contender. This should be a hell of a fight here on Thursday Night SmackDown. Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, two young, incredible talents. But who is going to beat Dominik Mysterio for the gold? Here's Javon Evans going for the quick cover. Dragon Lee going to reverse the pressure. Javon Evans now into the pinfall. Dragon Lee again. Back and forth we go. I hope senior referee Charles Robinson did his cardio leading up to SmackDown tonight. Dragon Lee now set over the top rope by the young OG, who takes things to the sky with the corkscrew. Javon Evans. This kid is gonna be big. Javon Evans with an incredible showing back in the Cruiserweight Classic in the fall. Same place where Dragon Lee really bursted onto the scene. It gave him the catapult to join Thursday Night SmackDown. Two incredible journeys to get to tonight for these two men, but who, as we mentioned, wants it more? Who's going to get that Cruiserweight Championship opportunity in the near future? Oh, Dragon Lee, nice spin kick right to the abdominal, follows it over the drop kick. Dragon Lee has tasted championship gold here on SmackDown alongside Rey Mysterio, former WWE Tag Team Champions. Now looking to get back in the ring with Rey's son for a singles championship here on Thursday night's Night Shooting Star. Javon Evans with the kick out. This is just about what we expected. Energetic offense on both sides of the ring by Dragon Lee and Javon Evans. Nice high knee by Dragon Lee. You know, one thing that makes Dragon Lee A little bit unpredictable at times. And yes, he loves to take things to the sky, loves to fly, but he's also full of strikes in his arsenal. World travel is Dragon Lee. Certainly something that benefits his in-ring offense there. Sunset flip into the powerbomb. Dragon Lee, dare I say, a multiple tool player inside of that squared circle. Now on top, but he gets cut off as Javon Evans is not looking to allow that offense to stack. Javon Evans again, still so young in his career, only 21 years old. Athletic as all hell. Will it be enough to keep down former WWE Tag Team Champion and Dragon Lee out of the corner? And into the Tornado DDT. DDT moments after that drop kick. Now Evans up top. Frog splash to Lee. Javon Evans here, closing in on #1 contendership. Not just yet, Dragon Lee still in this fight. And we knew this one was going to be energetic. We knew this was going to be high offense. What a pleasure it is to watch here in Bakersfield on SmackDown as Dragon Lee fights out of the corner. This head scissors takedown there by the luchador. Javon Evans, slight height advantage here. Dragon Lee, dare I say, may have a little bit of a power advantage in this contest as he sends Evans flying to the outside. And speaking of flying, Dragon Lee over the top rope takes out Evans. Bakersfield coming unglued. Dragon Lee now sends Javon Evans back inside the ring. Oh, just goats Evans in that time. That's the naivety of Javon coming back to haunt him. Mexican Destroyer from outside to the inside of the squared circle, and this one's not over yet. Dragon Lee, epic combination of maneuvers to say the very least. Over the top rope, then the Destroyer, and he's still moving a mile a minute. Javon Evans with an incredible performance against Wes Lee a number of weeks ago, but he may have met his match. Double stop by Lee. Javon doing his damnedest to get back to a vertical base. Oh, Javon Evans now puts the brakes on. Dragon Lee might have been thrown off his game off that slight reversal. Evans now tying him up, cradles him up, down to the floor. Does Javon have a last-ditch effort? Sure, he's got to be feeling the fatigue out of that offense by Dragon Lee. There's an incredible spin kick by Evans. Drop kick into the corner. I am sure Dirty Dom has got an eye on this matchup as he's preparing for AJ Styles later tonight. Wondering who is going to be awaiting as the next challenger for the Cruiserweight Championship. Evans keeping it simple that time with the next hammer off the top. But the young OG has got to look for some kind of exclamation point here, and this may be it. Blue Thunder Bomb! No, Dragon Lee still alive. Dragon Lee still in this matchup, and Evans not letting that rack his confidence. Evans now measuring his man here. Gotta wonder what he's got in mind as he goes to the middle rope. Oh, gets caught by Lee into a powerbomb. Well-timed reversal by the LWO's Dragon Lee. Float over, going for another powerbomb. It's about 3 different powerbomb variations, but they all hurt the same throughout this matchup. A little close to the ropes that time to go for the pinfall there. Javon Evans saved and willing to fight at least a few more moments. OG now hoisted on top. Dragon Lee. Wheels are a-spinning. And so are the bodies! What a maneuver off the top! Another powerbomb! Float over into the knee! To become #1 contender. No! Man, you gotta give your hat off to Javon Evans in this contest. Dragon Lee has damn near emptied the tank, but the young OG continues to fight. Dragon Lee just starting to let loose Gets caught that time. Another drop kick by Evans. And he gets so high off the ground, doesn't he? Incredible impact on that drop kick. Into the ropes goes Dragon. Evans now float over. German. Javon Evans trying to throw some different tools into his tool belt tonight. They're trying to keep down Dragon Lee. Springboard clothesline. Evans trying to take his time, pick his next move wisely. Does not want to make a costly misstep, especially after realizing how much offense he has taken throughout this contest. He may not have much left in the tank. Off the arm drag, Dragon Lee now realizing he's got to get his wits about him. On the apron he goes, but he gets sent down with another drop kick by the Young OG. Dragon, wobbly foundation. Here comes Javon. That boy is bouncy. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide when Javon Evans is soaring through the skies. Back on top he goes. Javon delivers another frog splash and lands flush. That may be all she wrote. Oh, but Evans isn't done yet. Evans has got something in mind here as he sends Dragon Lee into the corner. Said a few moments ago, Evans might need an exclamation point. Might have waited too long. Dragon Lee now trying to fight back. Javon Evans, the young, naive, maybe at times superstar, might have just cost himself not going for the pinfall off that frog splash. Dragon Lee now in control. Operation Dragon to become #1 contender. No! What a match here on SmackDown. What else does Dragon Lee have in the tank? Javon, shot to the abdominal. Wait a minute, double spring. OG cutter out of nowhere. Maybe Evans did have a last-ditch effort. An exclamation point. He's #1 contender. Oh no, wait a minute. Dominik Mysterio from behind, attacking Evans with the Cruiserweight Championship. Well, Javon Evans earning #1 contendership, but Dominik Mysterio getting the last laugh ahead of his meeting with AJ Styles later tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after a chaotic start to SmackDown earlier tonight, what a main event that has been signed. Finn Balor, Carlito, and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day will take on Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and the world's champion, Ilya Dragunov, later tonight. But let us take a look at the Queen of the Ring tournament. Already this past Monday Night on Raw, La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, punching her ticket to the semifinals. We begin the SmackDown side of the bracket right here, right now. Kairi, Liv, Giulia, Piper. Who's going to move one step closer? We're going to find out here on SmackDown.
Is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring, representing the Judgment Day. From Elmwood Park, New Jersey, Liv Morgan.
Well, the Judgment Day certainly booked and busy here tonight. Liv Morgan, the first to walk down the aisle and participate in an actual matchup if we're discounting all the chaos that kicked us off earlier. Massive six-man tag team match coming up in your main event. Dirty Dominik Mysterio already seeing some action as well. And of course, he is set for a one-on-one battle against AJ Styles in the King of the Ring tournament coming up later tonight here in Bakersfield. But Liv Morgan looking to set the tone for the group. Can she contest the Women's United States Champion Kairi Sane, who's moving to the semifinals of the Queen of the Ring tournament?
And her opponent, representing the Kabuki Warriors from Yamaguchi, Japan, the WWE Women's United States Champion, Kairi Sane!
Kairi Sane winning the United States Championship and becoming its inaugural holder back at WrestleMania, defeating Nia Jax. She has defended that gold successfully against Alexa Bliss as well as Naomi. And now Kairi Sane looks to ride that success into the Queen of the Ring tournament, turn away the challenge of Liv Morgan, and move one step closer in this overall tournament to wearing the crown. Of course, the finals of both the Queen of the Ring and the King of the Ring will take place Sunday night, June the 6th at T-Mobile Park in Seattle at the King and Queen of the Ring event. Both of these women looking to be inside of the squared circle on that spotlighted evening. Liv Morgan joining the ranks of the Judgment Day, finding her new boyfriend in Dirty Dom in recent months, but somebody who has not found that much success inside of the squared circle. There was one of Kairi Sane's tag team partners, the Women's World Champion Io Sky, who turned away the challenge of Liv Morgan back in April at Backlash. With a spotlight on Liv Morgan now to try to find success inside of the ring between the bells. As for Kairi Sane, looking to ride the momentum straight to the top of the Queen of the Ring tournament. You saw the bracket moments ago. Monday Night Raw's newest acquisition in Stephanie Vaquer, the first to advance to the semifinals. Who is going to join her there? We begin to find out right here and now. Bell has sounded on the SmackDown side of the bracket in the 2025 Queen of the Ring tournament. For the second ever time this tournament has been held. Last year's winner, Monday Night Raw's Tiffany Stratton, will compete in this very tournament come Monday. It's former Intercontinental Champion Liv Morgan. I should say former Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria. Liv Morgan inside of the ring right now here on SmackDown and taking the fight to Kairi Sane. Of course, we will see the in-ring debut of the beautiful Madness Giulia later tonight. It's been advertised for weeks here on SmackDown. Regardless of what happens later tonight, Giulia will be back inside of the ring next week. She will take on Piper Niven in the Queen of the Ring tournament as well. Right now, all the focus on Kairi Sane and Liv Morgan as Kairi dishing the fight right back to Liv. Liv wants to get scrappy. Kairi Sane ain't afraid to do so. Women's United States Champion perched on the middle rope. Liv Morgan may be the prime target. Here's Kairi Sane going for the forearm, but Liv just a little bit out of position. Crash and burn by Kairi. They don't call it high risk. High reward for nothing. Might have costed herself that time. Liv looks for the early victory here in Bakersfield. Not just yet. Kairi Sane still alive. Rare miscalculation out of the arsenal of the United States Champion. However, it does play in to Liv Morgan's offense now. Liv Morgan may be on a bit of a dry spell here in terms of wins and losses inside of the ring. Make no mistake about it, Liv Morgan, a former multiple-time WWE Women's Champion. And of course, a member of the Judgment Day, who, as we found out earlier tonight, are never looming too far behind. The rest of the Judgment Day boys getting ready for their respective matches tonight. Dominik Mysterio and AJ Styles coming up in moments, part of the King of the Ring. Of course, that massive six-man tag team main event that has been signed on as Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Carlito will take on the Usos and the heavyweight champion of the world, Ilya Dragunov, in your main event. There's Kairi Sane here off the sidestep, drop kick, into the springboard, head scissors takedown. Kairi Sane looked like she was going for a drop kick, but she turned it into the head scissors off the off the top rope. Kairi Sane now, after that miscalculation a few moments ago, trying to get back into this matchup against Liv Morgan. Light Liv up with a couple of chops. Kairi Sane, one of the hard hitters of the SmackDown Women's Division. not find success by accident. Kairi Sane, Women's United States Champion today for a reason. Ran down the names she has turned away when that title has been on the line. It's first and only holder at the moment. Liv Morgan, however, sure would love to turn away Kairi Sane tonight, move one step closer in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Of course, the winner of the Queen of the Ring will receive a championship opportunity in August at SummerSlam. Off the float over suplex. Liv wants the pinfall, a pretty disrespectful pinfall that time. Kairi Sane not going to take too kindly to that. Fortunately for Kairi, it has been a very aggressive Liv Morgan throughout this Queen of the Ring first round matchup thus far. Kairi Sane struggling to get some sustained offense. She's had some glimmers here and there. I think ever since that miscalculation off the middle rope, Liv Morgan has really been in the driver's seat of this matchup. There's a crossbody. Coincidentally enough, off the middle rope as well. Judgment Day's Liv Morgan maybe on the verge of a semi-final ticket being punched. United States Champion looking worse for wear. Certainly the worst we have seen her in recent months here on SmackDown in singles competition. Liv now full head of steam into the code breaker. Liv looking to move on to the semis. Kairi Sane able to kick out. Kabuki Warrior representative Kairi Sane not looking to go down that easy. Kairi getting out of the way. With a pair of boots from Liv into a stunner. Enough to take Liv off her feet momentarily now. Kairi Sane with Liv backed up in the corner. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Kairi Sane by hook or by crook trying to play catch up with the offense here. Liv down to the corner. Kairi Sane just letting her have it off a couple of shots. Middle rope again. Finds success this time. It looks like a tadpole splash coming off the middle rope. Kairi Sane ever confident. Oh, she's got to keep her eye on Liv. I think she thought Liv Morgan was worse than she was. Nearly got caught to the United States Champion. Another reversal there by the Sky Pirate herself, who misses wildly for the forearm. Liv gives her one right back. Things are getting scrappy here in Bakersfield, and there's the elbow that time. United States Champion Kairi Sane starting to take over here on Thursday Night SmackDown. Liv hoisted on top. Kairi's wheels are a-spinning. She's got Liv Morgan locked. Elevated DDT. That could be a knockout blow any day of the week. Maybe not. Liv Morgan not even giving Kairi the satisfaction of a one count that time. Ever emphatic as a Judgment Day representative, but that is not going to faze the United States Champion. Looks to keep her foot on the gas pedal. Meets Liv Morgan the forearm in the corner. Liv Morgan trying to roll out of dodge. Kairi saying not today. And another near fall in this matchup. Liv Morgan did not have the energy to be as enthusiastic with the kick out that time as she was a moment ago, but able to survive nonetheless. And Kairi, kick right to the back of the head. And the axe coming down, running the back of Liv Morgan. Now the United States Champion smells blood in the water. For the first time in this matchup over the last minute or so, it looks as if Kairi Sane may be the one. Moving on to the semifinals. Liv Morgan gets sent to the outside. The United States Champion has got to get Liv back inside the ring, but there is an opportunity to weaken her opponent on the outskirts. Maybe that's exactly what Liv Morgan wanted. Maybe Liv wanted to use the surroundings to her advantage. Certainly being a part of the Judgment Day, I'm sure she's added a couple of dirty tricks to her playbook. Now Kairi Sane again knocked to the outside. Well, Liv may just be satisfied with a count-out victory here. I don't think she cares, as long as she was able to move on to the semifinals. Kairi Sane back inside of the ring, however, she just gets met with a knockout blow by Morgan. Kairi still in this match. We have got a gritty one here in the first round of the Queen of the Ring tournament between Liv Morgan and Kairi Sane. There's a backstabber by Liv. Taking that out of the playbook, of Judgment Day's newest representative in Carlito will be back in action later tonight. Kairi Sane is going to feel that one on Friday morning, rest assured. Kairi Sane looking to use adrenaline to fight through here on SmackDown. Springboard, splits the difference into the Bulldog. Kairi Sane has got Liv Morgan down. She's got her out. She's in the drop zone. Looking for the insane elbow, but Liv Morgan gets out of the way. Crash and burn for the United States Champion. Much to the chagrin of this Bakersfield audience who wanted to see the exclamation point put on this matchup by the Sky Pirate. Kairi Sane might have took herself out, and now Liv into the oblivion. No connection on the insane elbow, and oblivion later, and Liv Morgan's moving on in the Queen of the Ring tournament.
Here is your winner, Liv Morgan.
You know, Liv Morgan might have been steering a rocky ship in terms of wins and losses ever since joining SmackDown a couple of months ago, but this is a huge win that nobody will soon forget. Defeating the United States champion Kairi Sane in a non-title bout, yes, but a matchup that was oh so important in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Kairi Sane fades to black, and Liv Morgan, the first on the SmackDown side to punch her ticket to the Oh, wait a minute here, hold on. We need some cameras in the backstage area. We got something going on. Finn Balor! Oh, he's attacking the World Heavyweight Champion Ilya Dragunov. Oh, Balor talking about Ilya earlier tonight, saying he wants another contest for the championship. Of course, the six-man tag signed on for later. Balor trying to get the edge. Can't get enough universe mode? PLE kickoff shows, live events, all exclusive to Noah Nation Gaming channel members. Hit the join button down below and gain access to more universe than ever before. It is a better time than any to become a Noah Nation Gaming channel member, because coming up this Saturday for the Honda Center in Anaheim, it is Beach Blast, Ilya Dragunov, Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, Roxanne Perez, and many more already signed on. Hit the join button down below, become a Noah Nation Gaming channel member, and punch your ticket to Beach Blast this Saturday night. But it is time for the King of the Ring tournament to commence here on SmackDown. And unfortunately, this is not the first time Dominik Mysterio is making his presence felt tonight. Said it before, we'll say it again, the Judgment Day booked and busy here in Bakersfield. And the Cruiserweight champion of the world, Dominik Mysterio, has got multiple targets gunning for him here on Thursday nights.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Judgment Day. From San Diego, California, weighing in at 200 pounds, the WWE Cruiserweight Champion, Dominik Mysterio.
Let us take a look at the King of the Ring tournament bracket. Already this past Monday night on Raw, Randy Orton, the first to join the semifinals. You see the four superstars representing SmackDown. One of those men is going to move forward here tonight, whether it be Dirty Dom or the phenomenal AJ Styles. Dominik Mysterio using that Cruiserweight Championship to knock out his #1 contender, Javon Evans, just a bit ago here in Bakersfield. But now the attention shifts elsewhere, because Dominik Mysterio cannot be focused on Javon Evans and the Cruiserweight Championship at the given moment, because he's got one fired up phenomenal AJ Styles looking to knock him out of the King of the Ring tournament. AJ Styles ready for combat here in Bakersfield.
And his opponent from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the phenomenal
AJ Styles with a bone to pick against the Judgment Day. Remember last time out here on SmackDown, he was set for a one-on-one matchup against Dirty Dominik Mysterio. The matchup quickly went haywire when the Judgment Day arrived on the scene, causing a disqualification. AJ Styles and Ilya Dragunov teaming up later that night in the main event to contest Dirty Dom, as well as Finn Balor, and it was Balor who pinned the shoulders of AJ Styles on that night. Well, a man who just last year on Monday Night Raw was the undisputed WWE Champion is looking to get back to the promised land, and it could come in the midst of the King of the Ring tournament. AJ Styles looking to bury the old bones of Dirty Dominik Mysterio tonight and move on to greener pastures in the King of the Ring tournament. Randy Orton from Raw, the first to join the semifinals. Who is going to join on the other side of the bracket? We find out right here and now as the King of the Ring tournament commences on the SmackDown side. AJ Styles obviously with the power game here. What's Dominik Mysterio doing? Oh, look at Dom. No interest in this feeling out process. We're going to play some mind games with the phenomenal AJ Styles. And Styles ain't got time for any of that crap tonight. Over the top rope with the forearm. Styles has got a bone to pick with the Cruiserweight Champion, Dirty Dominik Mysterio. AJ looking to kill two birds with one stone, take care of the Judgment Day, and move one step closer to winning the King of the Ring tournament. Dominik Mysterio earlier tonight knocking out Javon Evans with the Cruiserweight Championship. His focus just better be on AJ Styles and not Javon at the given moment, or AJ Styles is going to eat him alive. Well documented over the last few months, AJ Styles added some muscle to that frame. He is looking better than ever, even at this stage in his career. He's looking for another run at the top of this industry. Dominik Mysterio might have costed himself trying to play some mind games in the early moments. AJ Styles all over the Cruiserweight Champion and continues to be off that knee. This has got to feel good, damn near therapeutic for AJ Styles. The Judgment Day, a bit of a thorn in his side over their rise over the last few months on SmackDown. Over AJ Styles contested Finn Balor one-on-one, dating back a month and change ago here on SmackDown. It was a win for Finn Balor on that night, thanks to Judgment Day interference. Now AJ Styles in the ring with another member of the Judgment Day in Dominik Mysterio. Collapses him into the buckles off that suplex. Styles looking to finally get the edge over the Judgment Day group, but not just yet as Dominik Mysterio still in this fight. Gotta give the devil his due. Dominik Mysterio, Cruiserweight Champion today for a reason, and he's a former Intercontinental Champion over on Monday Night Raw for a reason as well. Well, he was voted by you, the fans, the breakout superstar of 2024 last year. Maybe an absolute nuisance. Somebody who we never really enjoy on our screens. But at the end of the day, Dominik Mysterio, incredibly young, incredibly talented, and a bright future ahead of him. We just may not love the antics he uses to get to the top. Same antics that AJ Styles is going to be aware of tonight. No Judgment Day loitering at ringside at the given moment. You never know when they might rear their head. Liv Morgan already moving on the Queen of the Ring tournament. I'm sure Dominik had a smile on his face because of that. Dominik Mysterio defeats AJ Styles. I don't even know what Dom and Liv are going to get up to tonight. Dom now out of the corner with a tornado DDT. Of course, that massive six-man tag team matchup still to come, and Ilya Dragunov going to be feeling a little bit banged up heading into it thanks to the assault from Finn Balor moments ago in the backstage area. Dom now into the cover and slowed the pace of this match down just a little bit. Not trying to allow AJ Styles to dictate what happens and what progresses from bell to bell. Dominik Mysterio now sends AJ Styles, the veteran, over the top rope into the outside. Styles, however, knows how to strike from anywhere, inside or outside of the squared circle. Hangs up Dirty Dom on the top rope. Mysterio now trying to get back to his feet, but he just gets collapsed off that elbow by Styles. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it was just last year that AJ Styles was the WWE Champion on Monday Night Raw. He had a run with the United States Championship at the beginning of 2024 as well. Styles may be late in his career, absolutely, he'll admit it. But he has not slowed down for anybody, and he ain't looking to start for the Judgment Day in the midst of this King of the Ring tournament. Styles looking to knock out Dirty Dom once and for all tonight, and move on to fight the winner of next week's battle, whether it be Bronson Reed or Cody Rhodes. Sending the Cruiserweight Champion back inside of the ring. AJ Styles now perched on top, but unfortunately Mysterio outrunning him and knocks AJ Styles down to size. The Cruiserweight Champion again in control. Dominik Mysterio winning that Cruiserweight Championship back at WrestleMania, defeating Wes Lee. He has since retained it over Dragon Lee here on SmackDown. And of course he's been caught up in Judgment Day business. Awaits a battle with Javon Evans regardless of what happens here tonight. But Mysterio looking to stay busy by contesting AJ Styles and moving on to the King of the Ring tournament. Styles, however, looking to write a different story. Nobody home off that halo a few moments ago for Dirty Dom, and it comes back to bite him. There was a point in time last year on Monday Night Raw where the Judgment Day and AJ Styles had a loose partnership. It really was born out of some common enemies on Monday nights. Obviously, those days are far behind us. Dominik Mysterio now. I don't know what AJ Styles has got in mind here. Goating the Cruiserweight Champion in. There's a shot right to the jawline. Shoulder block. Styles knew exactly what he wanted and was patient. DDT over the top. That's the veteran in AJ Styles coming out to play, dictating how this matchup progresses. Exactly what Dominik Mysterio cannot afford. Styles now on the outside. 450 splash. Styles the one, moving like a cruiserweight, but Dominik Mysterio just at the last second able to get his shoulder up. What a maneuver by AJ Styles. The springboard, the 450 splash. Styles picking his spots to perfection here. Oh, Mysterio might have caught the phenomenal one. Dom with a 619 to AJ. And that halo connects on the second attempt. Dirty Dom, gonna move on, not just yet. Dominik Mysterio able to survive the 450, but felt a sense of urgency, was able to connect with the 619 into the second halo attempt. Unfortunately, not enough damage has been done to the phenomenal AJ Styles. Dominik Mysterio with some extra motivation after watching Liv Morgan advance in the Queen of the Ring. Will he find the same result? Yeah, Dom can try to quiet down this crowd all they want. They're forever going to be on the case of the Cruiserweight Champion. You better learn to live with it at this point. AJ Styles now set over the top rope. I don't know what Dom's got in mind, but I'm sure it's going to be disastrous. Drop kick, down goes AJ. It's a fall from grace off that apron, down to the ground here in Mechanics Bank Arena. Dominik Mysterio now using his surroundings to his advantage, just beating down AJ Styles one moment at a time. Trying to do whatever he can to cross that finish line first. Into the steel steps goes Styles. Dom breaking the count. I don't know what the Cruiserweight Champion's got in mind here. Obviously just trying to do whatever he can. Oh, and over the barricade, Dominik sending AJ into the WWE Universe. Well, Dominik may be feeling a little bit desperate after that 619 and Halo combination did not put away AJ Styles. Trying to throw AJ off his game, maybe go for a count out here. Referee Charles Robinson at a count of 5. Dominik Mysterio may be on the verge of a count out victory. AJ Styles hustles up, gets back inside the ring. Mysterio with a drop kick. Held Dominik Mysterio last year. Defeated Solo Sikoa in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament and did move on to the quarterfinals. Will Dominik Mysterio once again find success in the first round of this prestigious tournament? 619 did not put AJ Styles away. Couldn't keep AJ Styles out for a count of 10. Dominik may be feeling a sense of urgency, maybe getting desperate. Dominik now just all over the case of AJ Styles. Oh, hold on here. What's the theme music of the young OG, Javon Evans? Oh, well, he's not out here. I think he was just playing some mind games. Adding insult to injury, an eye for an eye. Javon Evans getting back at Dirty Dom for that attack with the Cruiserweight Championship earlier tonight. And it allows AJ Styles a moment to get some R&R, a moment to recalibrate, and now Styles with his eyes locked on Mysterio. Dom in trouble. Styles clash by the Phenomenal One. With a little assist from Javon Evans, AJ Styles is moving on.
Here is your winner, the Phenomenal AJ Styles.
Well, you know what? The Judgment Day constantly used their numbers to get ahead, and it came back to haunt them here tonight. Javon Evans taking Dominik Mysterio's eye off the ball, and it allows AJ Styles to capitalize. That has got to feel good for Styles, who has had an ever-developing issue with the Judgment Day. AJ now the first to move on the SmackDown side of the bracket. The Phenomenal AJ Styles will meet the winner of next week's battle, and it is certainly a brewing rivalry between Bronson Reed and Cody Rhodes. We want to take you back to last time out here on SmackDown, when a brawl ensued in the backstage area, and we use that term loosely, that being brawl, because it more seemed like an attack, an ambush from Big Bronson Reed. Reed had been calling out Cody Rhodes, saying they got unfinished business ever since Cody Rhodes defeated him weeks prior. Well, Reed putting an exclamation point on those words. The superplex through the table, a series of tsunamis on the American Nightmare. Reed hell-bent on getting to the main event, climbing the ladder here on SmackDown. And if he's got to put Cody Rhodes down to do it, that he will. Next week, Cody's got a chance at redemption. Reed's got a chance to break through the glass ceiling. It's a King of the Ring first round matchup next Thursday night on SmackDown. But coming up next here in Bakersfield, another developing rivalry on Thursday nights, one between Elite Low Andrade and All Day Austin Theory. They are signed and set to be delivered in a rubber match. Andrade, Theory, coming up next on Thursday Night SmackDown. This summer, destiny awaits. On Sunday, July 6th, from T-Mobile Park, in the heart of the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington, WWE presents a night where careers are changed forever. King and Queen of the Ring. A tournament built on tradition, fueled by ambition, and crowned in glory. Superstars will battle through the brackets, but only two will rise to claim the throne and wear the crown. Who will make history? Who will rule the ring? We find out live on July 6th at WWE King and Queen of the Ring. Live from Bakersfield, California, we are set for a matchup that should be a great athletic performance between two of SmackDown's best. They've won one apiece. Tonight it's the rubber match in this ever-growing rivalry on SmackDown.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Gomez Palacio, Durango, Mexico, weighing in at 230 pounds. Andrade!
It's a rivalry that developed as both men had their eyes on the United States Championship opportunities. They first met back on April the 17th right here on SmackDown. With the help of an exposed steel turnbuckle, Austin Theory sending Andrade abdominal first. Follow that up with the A-Town down. Theory would snag victory away from El Idolo. That was certainly something that did not sit well with Andrade. They took the battle to Phoenix on May 17th, exactly 1 month later on Saturday night's main event. An exhilarating contest, and after a misstep by Austin Theory, Andrade would coast to victory in the final moments. Andrade evened up the playing field with that victory over Austin Theory back on Saturday night's main event last month. Now they meet again. It's the rubber match right here in Bakersfield on SmackDown. Both these men had their eyes on LA Knight and the United States Championship back in the month of March. Slowly but surely, a rivalry developed between the two of them. Now they clash in the Mechanics Bank Arena.
And his opponent from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 220 pounds, Austin Theory.
And really, it's Austin Theory's words to Andrade in the midst of trying to challenge for the United States Championship that was the spark that lighted this entire fire. Austin Theory had a date with LA Knight for the United States Championship back in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. Andrade marched down the aisle and said, "Whoever wins, I'm coming for the championship." Austin Theory really brushed Andrade off on that night, really didn't take him as a serious threat. Andrade coming down the aisle, distracting Austin Theory on that night, allowing LA Knight to retain the United States Championship. And these two men were off to the races from there. And just as that victory by Austin Theory back on April 17th didn't sit well with Andrade, well, vice versa can be said. Theory has been boiling since Saturday night's main event back on May 17th. Well, this rivalry is set to come to a head here as we are getting close to our second hour here on SmackDown, kicking off on what has been an extraordinary night. I want to thank you all for joining us thus far. We are live from a sold-out Mechanics Bank Arena in the beautiful Bakersfield, California. We're on the road to King and Queen of the Ring July 6th in Seattle. But here we go, Andrade Theory, some bad blood about to boil over. Andrade hot out of the gate. Lucha Libre superstar loves to push the pace inside of that ring and give Austin Theory hell in the midst of it. I'm sure the night that Austin Theory really brushed off the words from Andrade and didn't take him as a serious threat or something Theory may be living to regret, as this rivalry has really stemmed both superstars away from challenging for the United States Championship in recent months. Speaking of the red, white, blue, and gold, the megastar LA Knight, of course, retaining that championship in a Glasgow street fight, a Clash at the Castle against Gallows' Joe Coffey. Physical fight it was. LA Knight putting that situation behind him. Gotta wonder who's gonna be next to step up for the United States Championship. It very well could be one of these two men. We'll see on the other side of the bell who's gonna be standing on the soles of their boots with their hand raised high. Whoever that man is, they may just have an argument to become the #1 contender for the United States Championship here on SmackDown. Don't get ahead of ourselves, though. We've still got a long way to go as this matchup is just getting underway. Austin Theory, the power. Andrade, the speed, the agility. Who's going to outmatch the other? Well, tilt-to-whirl sidewalk slam. And think about this matchup. This is now the third time in recent months these two men are going one-on-one. You start to become familiar with your opponent's, well, really moveset. You start to familiarize yourself and you start to find ways to reverse like you've never reversed before. Kind of forces your opponent to get a little bit more creative and try to add some maneuvers to their arsenal to throw you off their game. Andrade into the standing moonsault, right into the lateral press pinfall. Nearly caught Austin Theory there, you see. I think Theory even knew that was a close call. Very enthusiastic kick out by all day Austin Theory. Austin Theory has had an incredible career in the last couple of years here in the WWE. Oof! As he gets hung up on the top rope by Andrade. Theory itching to add to that list of accolades, but Andrade not going to allow it. Corkscrew over the top rope takes Theory out at ringside. Andrade, hungry for championship gold here on SmackDown. Wants to find his name in the lights. Andrade scaling the ropes. Tilt-a-whirl, head scissors takedown into the pinfall. And another kick out by Theory. Andrade very aggressive since this matchup kicked off. Their third outing, no need for a feeling out process. These two superstars know each other well at this point. Andrade looked to be going for that arm drag that he likes to utilize from the middle rope, but Austin Theory had it scouted. Theory's best foot forward in this matchup, from my estimation, would be utilizing his strength and power that he does have the edge over Andrade with. This is Andrade has tried to push the pace, has tried to fly high. Theory needs to ground Elite Low in this matchup and slowly but surely pick away at Andrade to secure victory here tonight. Andrade, I should say Austin Theory, had to use an underhanded tactic, exposing the buckle to defeat Andrade the first time around. I think Theory would love an emphatic victory tonight and not have to rely on such an underhanded tactic. Little distance created, float over, DDT. You want to talk about the arsenals of both superstars? That's the signature out of Austin Theory. Spiking Andrade right on his crown. A little wobbly up against the ropes. I think those ropes the only reason Andrade's even on the soles of his boots right now after that DDT delivery by Theory. The ropes, Andrade goes again. Another float over. Theory starting to pull out his best maneuvers here, and boy, is he ever confident. Austin Theory will not let anyone forget that he's a former WWE Tag Team Champion, a former WWE Champion. I'll bite, even if it was just for a month. Back in his debut year, he was champion nonetheless. Austin Theory, former King of the Ring winner 2 years ago as well. Looking to find some new success on SmackDown, but Elite Low's been standing in his way. And Andrade nearly had Theory put away again. You gotta give credit where credit's due. Theory surviving like no other in this matchup. Andrade now, oof. Oh, wait a minute, full head of steam. Head scissors, takedown on the outside. Andrade, all kinds of fired up. Oh man, holy, oh, what a maneuver. This is an inverted 450 splash by Elite Low. Austin Theory doesn't know what hit him. Andrade now on top as Theory tries to shake off the cobwebs. Meteora from the heavens. That has got to do it. Not just yet. Austin Theory still alive. Andrade ever aggressive, pushing the pace in this matchup, pulling out maneuvers we have yet to see. But Austin Theory like a cockroach that can survive the apocalypse. Oof. Cutting Andrade in half in the corner. Here's Theory starting to rev up the engines. Just when you thought Andrade was on top, Theory now turns the tables. Elite Low in trouble. Gets planted right on the knee. Theory now into the cover. That's going to be all she wrote. Not just yet. This story's far from over. We have got another good one between Theory and Andrade. This rivalry continues to heat up. The action hotter than ever. Powerbomb. It has been an awesome night thus far on SmackDown as we enter the second hour of this 2-hour extravaganza here in Bakersfield, California. Andrade muscled into the corner. Austin Theory certainly does not lack any confidence. Elite Low on top. Theory full head of steam and just sends Andrade for an amusement park ride down to the floor of Mechanics Bank Arena. Nothing fancy about it. Andrade on wobbly foundation. Suicide dive by Theory. Andrade was the one pushing the pace, flying through the air. Theory was really a little bit more slow and methodical in the first few moments of this matchup, but it seems as if Austin Theory has realized he may just have to beat Andrade at his own game. First a drop kick for the outside to the inside, then the suicide dive. Now Austin Theory just keeping his foot on the gas. Andrade down. He might have expended all his energy in this matchup already. Theory on the middle rope. Delivers the drop kick. Remember, that's the drop kick that he failed to connect with in the final moments of their contest at Saturday night's main event. It left Andrade the opening to capitalize and be the victor on that night. Oh, spinning back elbow out of nowhere by Elita Low. Theory looking up at the lights. A Mechanics Bank Arena. Andrade on top. What has he got in mind? Corkscrew moonsault. What a maneuver by Andrade. Austin Theory now, roll to the outside. Trying to get the hell out of Dodge and avoid disaster, AKA a loss here in Bakersfield. Oh, they had done just that. Oh, wait a minute here. Austin Theory, A-Town down on the outside of the ring. Theory needed something. He felt the urgency. He felt nervous. Delivered his best maneuver, but he did it on the outside of the ring. He's got to get Andrade back inside, and he does, to try to score the victory here. A-Town down on the outside. Andrade's got to have his eggs scrambled, but we're back inside the ring now. Fast moving are these two superstars. Andrade rolling up and tying up Theory. He got him. He scored the victory right out from underneath Austin Theory's nose.
Here is your winner, Andrade!
Oh, what a great matchup between these two superstars. This ever-growing rivalry has been fun to watch. Austin Theory felt a sense of urgency, delivered the A-Town down on the outside when he had the moment, but that slight hesitation, trying to get Andrade back inside the ring, allowed Elita Low to recover and score that quick pinfall over Theory. One other great contest signed, sealed, and set to be delivered in tonight's main event. It's a massive six-man tag team matchup as the Judgment Day aligns against Jimmy Uso, main event Jey Uso, and the world's champion Ilya Dragunov later tonight on SmackDown, live from Bakersfield. Well, what an exciting night it has been here in Bakersfield, California, in the middle of a sold-out Mechanics Bank Arena for Thursday Night SmackDown. Action-packed it has been, and so much more action to come, but still to come here on SmackDown. A little face-to-face. Both men got something to get off their chest. Former best friends, Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, will stare eye to eye after their ever-growing rivalry continues to develop here on SmackDown. Trick and Melo face-to-face in mere moments, live from Bakersfield. But we are set for action as the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, looks to get herself and Zoe Stark back on track and take the fight to Bayley, who's of course accompanied by Naomi.
And her opponent from San Jose, California, Bayley!
Well, ever since Naomi's return on SmackDown, she's been in action and really ruffling a couple of feathers, and most importantly, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Naomi picked up not one but two singles victories over Zoe Stark, to the point where the former women's tag team champions in Stark and Baszler said, hey, go find yourself a partner. We'll settle this in our best situation. Well, Naomi called upon an old friend, and that was Bayley. Bayley drafted over from Raw to SmackDown back in March and made her return to the Blue brand, last time out on SmackDown in her hometown of San Jose, California. Bayley and Naomi certainly a formidable duo and may be looking to take the tag team division of the WWE by storm, but tonight it is about singles competition. Bayley's got her hands full as Shayna Baszler is no light work. This should be an interesting matchup as SmackDown continues to develop here from Bakersfield, California. It's Bayley's first singles matchup in a couple of months in the WWE entirely, and sees Shayna Baszler looking to light up Bayley in the early moments. Shayna Baszler up there with Asuka and Rhea Ripley as some of the most dominant women in WWE history. Baszler, a former WWE Women's Champion, former Women's World Champion. Last summer, herself and Zoe Stark kicked off a Women's Tag Team Championship reign. Baszler even credited with helping bring Zoe Stark to the promised land on SmackDown. Took Zoe under her wing, really became a mentor for Zoe Stark. And it's something that developed into a friendship, into a partnership, and those two women have found some great success. Naomi interrupting that success with those victories over Zoe Stark and the former Women's Tag Team Champions, not taking too kindly to it. A bit of a string of bad luck for Baszler and Stark, if you will, as of late. Baszler looking to turn it around tonight with a victory over Bayley. And she may just have the edge, as we mentioned, this is Bayley's first singles match in a couple of months. Not just here on SmackDown, but over on Monday Night Raw as well. Baszler a little bit frustrated in the early going. Very aggressive, looking to set the precedent. Want to get this matchup done and make a statement, I am sure, to the rest of the SmackDown locker room. Baszler and Stark, their best days are not behind them. Bayley now sending Shayna Baszler into the corner, cuts her in half that time. Well, I'm sure there's a bit of a sense of urgency in all these women as well to really prove their worth. Only 8 spots in this year's Queen of the Ring tournament, 4 of them on SmackDown. None of these women were chosen for that tournament. Gotta wonder if that lights a fire underneath not just Bayley and Shayna Baszler, but what about Naomi and Zoe Stark as well? All these women always looking for opportunities. And as we say nearly every week here on SmackDown, you want the opportunities, you gotta get the W's, you gotta get the wins where it matters most. And I think that is why Baszler and Stark have been so frustrated, because those victories have not been coming maybe as easy as they used to. Competition continues to rise, talent continues to get better, more opportunities continue to rise. Everybody is hungry in the SmackDown Women's Division. Shayna Baszler very aggressive as this matchup kicked off. Bayley matching her energy. There's a reversal there by the Queen of Spades. Baszler now knocking Bayley down to size and runs her over with that kick. You gotta just imagine how hard those shots are by Baszler. Those kicks as now she takes Bayley down at ringside with the step up. One kick to the side, another kick to the chest. Bayley just absolutely collapsing off the collision with Baszler. That MMA background of Shayna's, what helped make her so dominant in her years here in WWE? Off the German, into the cover on Bayley. This one's not over yet. Bayley's still alive. Shayna Baszler, however, going to look to keep her foot on the gas. Bayley off a reversal that time. Oh, look at it. Bayley going to try to beat a submission specialist at her own game. Hops up and locks in the guillotine here. Shayna Baszler, however, knows her way around, not only applying the holds, but knows how to get out of them. And there's another step up this time in the ring. Got to commend the effort of Bayley, trying to add some wrinkles to her arsenal there, but I don't think electing for a submission against Shayna was that wise. Piper's pick. Oh, it's Shayna Baszler, although a veteran, not watching her ring awareness that time, so desperate for victory. That rope break might have costed her. Piper's pit lands flush on Bayley. Might not have gotten the victory with Bayley obviously fatigued. There's a reversal that time. Bayley now with a body splash. Shayna Baszler taken down momentarily, and Bayley just looking to keep this offense going. All kinds of fired up, just weeks removed from her return to the WWE. Great homecoming in San Jose alongside Naomi, the big tag team victory. Shayna Baszler, wobbly foundation. Bayley to belly. Into the cover on the Queen of Spades. Huge singles victory for Bayley here in Bakersfield.
Here is your winner, Bayley.
Oh, hang on a second.
I'm on my own against the
Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, the women's tag team champions. Well, they might be hearing the buzz about Bayley and Naomi and this formidable duo that is aligned. Bianca and Jade may be calling out their next challenge. Hell, I better be careful because the last time champions called out their challenge, well, this is what happened. We take you back to Glasgow, Scotland at Clash of the Castle. Fraxium wanted competition. They eyed a battle against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, and the Celtic Warrior and the Scottish Warrior met them on the battlefield in the Ovo Hydro. An exciting matchup as Fraxium done what they always did, never slow down. High-flying, high-octane offense. McIntyre and Sheamus adding some new wrinkles to their arsenal as well. Ever powerful, ever hard-hitting were the challengers. A great contest back in Glasgow, Scotland. Fraxium pulling out all their greatest hits, but found out why Sheamus and McIntyre are former multiple-time over world champions. One Claymore kick later by Drew McIntyre, and new WWE Tag Team Champions were crowned. McIntyre and Sheamus ending the reign of Fraxium. But that does not mean that Axiom and Nathan Frazier are going to stay down for long. We can confirm that next week in San Diego, Fraxium gets their rematch for the WWE Tag Team titles they held so proudly. Fraxium challenges Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for the gold. That's coming up next week live on SmackDown. But it has been advertised all night long. These two men got something to get off their chest. Why don't they say it to each other's faces? Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, from best friends to bitter rivals. Melo turned his back on Trick in the early part of this year. Trick defeated Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania. That did not sit well with the man they call him. They met again in a no-holds-barred match at Backlash in April. Melo was victorious, and even ever since then, the situation's still unsolved. Trick and Melo want to tear each other apart. Dare I say, standing in each other's way from moving on, standing in each other's way to rise into the occasion here on SmackDown. A beloved superstar in Trick, a hated superstar in Carmelo Hayes, friends to rivals, it's a tale as old as time here on Thursday nights. Oh, well, it wouldn't be a face-to-face without Trick's counterpart here in Carmelo Hayes. Remember, we heard from Carmelo Hayes a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown. He said he was done with Trick Williams. He wanted to move on and challenge LA Knight for the United States Championship. Remember, Melo went one-on-one with Knight in a non-championship contest, and Trick Williams arrived on the scene to ensure that matchup didn't go Melo's way. Certainly speaks to the words that these two superstars are standing in each other's way here on Thursday Night SmackDown. What's Carmelo Hayes got to say in a rebuttal to his former best friend? Well, it looks like we have an agreement between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams for one final match, but with the stipulation that the loser will leave SmackDown? We wait to see if that matchup is made official for the future. High stakes for Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams, round 3. Can't get enough universe mode? PLE kickoff shows, live events, all exclusive to Noah Nation Gaming channel members. Hit the join button down below and gain access to more universe than ever before. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to become a Noah Nation Gaming channel member and punch your ticket to Beach Blast live from Anaheim this Saturday night. But we are here in Bakersfield, California. Piper Niven's going to have Giulia in the midst of the Queen of the Ring tournament next week. Chelsea Green, however, the card chosen for the Beautiful Madness in-ring debut right here on Thursday Night SmackDown. The WWE Universe has waited in anticipation for weeks. Giulia made quite the storm down at NXT, and now she arrives on the blue brand.
And her opponent from Tokyo, Japan, Giulia.
With 8 years of experience under her belt, Giulia has already accomplished so much around the globe in her professional wrestling career. Former New Japan Strong Women's Champion. Of course, took Stardom by storm, won nearly every championship the promotion has to offer. The former NXT Women's Champion. And this is not the first time that Giulia is participating in any main roster action, as she was a member of the Royal Rumble matchup earlier this January in Madison Square Garden. But for weeks, we have waited in anticipation for one of the hottest superstars known worldwide to join Thursday Night SmackDown, and here she is. They call her the Beautiful Madness. Hard-hitting, striking, she'll send shivers down your spine. Giulia is here, live in Bakersfield. And this is very interesting. Piper Niven's got Giulia next week in the first round of the Queen of the Ring tournament. For this week, she's got a front row seat to scout the Beautiful Madness and see if Chelsea Green can soften up Giulia ahead of that battle next Thursday night in San Diego. Giulia, a hard hitter, as a lot of women are coming out of Japan. Just a completely different style over there. And Giulia's gonna bring that style to Thursday Night SmackDown. Chelsea Green, hope she did her homework, and she's gonna be in for a fight tonight. Giulia not only participated in the Royal Rumble matchup earlier this year, had quite a few massive eliminations in that matchup. You go back and check out the replay this past January in Madison Square Garden. Giulia just alongside Stephanie Vaquer, two women who have been part of the WWE and were down at NXT for less than a year, yet accomplished so much, held championship gold in that brand. And I've already moved up the ladder. Stephanie Vaquer over on Monday Night Raw, debuting this past Monday night. Now Giulia arriving here on SmackDown. Talked about it moments ago in that matchup between Bayley and Shayna Baszler. The opportunities continue to arise. Talent continues to get better. The competition at all chords here on Thursday Night SmackDown in WWE entirely. Chelsea Green better put her best foot forward here tonight, because Giulia is not going to make victory easy for her. Chelsea Green take nothing away from her great talent inside of that ring, all the tools to be a success, but I think sometimes her own confidence and cockiness gets in her own way. Piper Niven, of course, hot off the heels of a unsuccessful outing against Io Sky at Clash at the Castle. Piper Niven had an incredible performance on that night. Unfortunately for her, was unable to defeat the Genius of the Sky to win the Women's World Championship. Giulia, first night here on SmackDown, and within mere weeks could find herself in the Queen of the Ring tournament and possibly finding herself challenging for the Women's World Championship if she can be a success. Both women missing for shots that time, but Chelsea Green able to take Giulia off her feet with the high knee. Again, this is a chance for Piper Niven to scout Giulia up close and personal ahead of their clash next Thursday in San Diego. Chelsea Green, however, not only looking for victory tonight, but looking to soften up the beautiful madness, and certainly is doing a number at the given moment. Look at that. There's the confidence that we talked about that sometimes can get in Chelsea's own way. Took her eye off the ball of Giulia, and Giulia now going to make her pay. Spiking Green right on her crown with the DDT. Had the arm hooked as well. Chelsea Green nowhere to run that time. And Giulia just going to show her talents on full display here on SmackDown. There's a reason the WWE Universe awaited this debut on SmackDown with such anticipation, because Giulia, an incredible talent with a ton of promise. Exploder suplex out of the corner. Chelsea Green looking worse for wear. Nothing that Giulia has delivered in this matchup has gone lackluster. It is all gone to the fullest fruition. A kick out by Green that time, but you can't tell me that a pound wasn't just taken out of the flesh of Chelsea. Giulia ever confident as well. Better not underestimate Chelsea Green, however. Chelsea might have just walked into disaster. Another scoop and a slam by Giulia. Giulia herself waited in anticipation for weeks to arrive here on SmackDown. She is going to make Chelsea Green be an example for what she is capable of here on Thursday nights. Giulia now set over the top rope and sent it right into the arms of Piper Niven. Lost her balance there as Giulia came crashing down at ringside. Giulia back inside the ring, or trying to get back inside the ring. Chelsea Green, however, meets her on the apron and hangs her up in the middle rope. Now Piper Niven putting her hands on Giulia, which should not be allowed. Referee Jessica Carr counting Giulia out at the moment. And Piper just sending her right into the waiting arms of Chelsea Green. Giulia now on a wobbly foundation and a Rough Rider by Green. Chelsea may be on the verge of, dare I say, an upset. Green, eyes locked on Giulia. Could be looking for the unpretty her. Giulia able to have it scouted. Goes behind, hooking Chelsea up again on the shoulders. Around and around we go. I don't think Chelsea saw that coming. She wanted the unprettier. She got an elbow and got dropped for her troubles. Again she goes in a brain buster variation. Giulia knocking Chelsea Green out for good here on SmackDown.
Here is your winner, Giulia.
The beautiful madness arrives in flying colors. And Piper Niven with a first-class ticket to what is coming her way next week. Giulia with an ever-impressive debut to, dare I say, a game Chelsea Green. But Giulia picks up the victory ahead of her Queen of the Ring first-round matchup in 7 nights. Well, we got a main event in this action-packed 2-hour edition of SmackDown, and it's coming up next. Ilya Dragunov and the Usos look to take care of the Judgment Day once and for all. It's a 6-man tag team matchup coming up next, live from Bakersfield, California. This summer, destiny awaits. On Sunday, July 6th, from T-Mobile Park in the heart of the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington, WWE presents a night where careers are changed forever. King and Queen of the Ring. A tournament built on tradition, fueled by ambition, and crowned in glory. Superstars will battle through the brackets, but only 2 will rise to claim the throne and wear the crown. Who will make history? Who will rule the ring? We find out live on July 6th at WWE King and Queen of the Ring.
I still see how
After his huge victory earlier tonight over Austin Theory, El Idolo Andrade has punched his ticket to a clash with the megastar LA Knight. These two men will meet next Thursday in San Diego for the red, white, blue, and gold. The United States Championship will be on the line. And of course, that's not the only championship matchup going down next week. As we found out earlier tonight, Fraxium challenges Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in a Clash at the Castle rematch for the WWE Tag Team Championship. We saw her in action moments ago. The beautiful Madness Giulia successful in her SmackDown debut. Can she ride that momentum as she goes one-on-one with the Scottish Destroyer in Piper Niven? It's a Queen of the Ring first round matchup next Thursday night here on SmackDown. And in the King of the Ring tournament, first round at that, Big Bronson Reed, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Boy, oh boy, is there a score to settle between these two men. The bad blood spills into the King of the Ring tournament. Who will survive? Who will meet AJ Styles in the semifinal round? But after what has been an extremely busy 2-hour edition of SmackDown here in Bakersfield, it is main event time, a massive 6-man tag team matchup on hand. The Judgment Day walk down the aisle yet again. Unfortunately, this time they're actually welcomed.
The following contest is a 6-man tag team match. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 590 pounds, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Carlito, the Judgment Day.
Well, Dominik Mysterio certainly looks like a happy camper for somebody who got knocked out of the King of the Ring tournament about an hour ago. I guess he's got Liv Morgan by his side and Cruiserweight Championship around his waist still, so things aren't all bad. Dominik Mysterio might have got knocked out of the King of the Ring. Liv Morgan, of course, advancing in the Queen of the Ring. Now it's up to the rest of the Judgment Day to take care of the Usos and Ilya Dragunov. This matchup could be pivotal for Finn Balor. He says he wants another shot at the World Championship. He says he wants to get back in the ring with the Mad Dragon with the gold on the line. Well, a victory for the Judgment Day tonight could certainly solidify that. Like him or not, this has become the most formidable faction we have seen in quite some time on Thursday Night SmackDown. Dominance, destruction, chaos, all at the hands of this unit. They want all the power. They want all the gold. They want to take care of their enemies once and for all. We saw the chaos that erupted at the top of this show. Now Balor, McDonough, and Carlito look to take care of the Usos and Ilya Dragunov once and for all.
Representing the Usos from San Francisco, California, weighing in at 242 pounds. Main event, Jey Uso!
Earlier tonight, Jey Uso marched down the aisle, but here in the main event, he's coming through. He's his people in the midst of the WWE Universe. It seems as if the reaction, the reception for main event Jey Uso just continues to grow. One of the most popular superstars in WWE today. Jey Uso proving himself to be a great singles acquisition to SmackDown when he joined the Blue brand last fall. Became the United States Champion. Had a hell of a reign with that gold. But this issue with the Judgment Day has brought his brother and himself back together. Now they align with Ilya Dragunov as well. It's tag team competition for a man who knows it very well. Get a load of that sight. Bakersfield on their feet in the middle of Mechanics Bank Arena. Jey Uso stood eye to eye with Finn Balor earlier tonight, then was laid out with a steel chair attacked by JD McDonough. Now it's time for the fight to get taken between the bells. And Jimmy Uso's been chomping at the bit to get his hands on the Judgment Day.
And representing the Usos from San Francisco, California, weighing in at 251 pounds, Jimmy Uso.
You know, you gotta think the Usos thought they put this Judgment Day situation to bed back in April at Backlash when Jey and Jimmy defeated Dom and Finn Balor in tag team action. That obviously did not sit well with the Judgment Day. They did all they could to divide and conquer Jey and Jimmy and throw them to the wayside in rout of Finn Balor's attempt to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Well, the Judgment Day were dominant for weeks here on SmackDown. Balor didn't get the conclusion he so desired at Clash at the Castle. We saw how he felt about that earlier tonight. Spewed a bunch of nonsense for my estimation. But Usos, one more time around, going to get their hands on the Judgment Day and put this issue to bed. And the man Dragon, Ilya Dragunov, hot off the heels of retaining his heavyweight championship of the world in Glasgow, now returns to his house Thursday Night SmackDown, looking to defend his honor against the Judgment Day once more. Ilya Dragunov has never been one to back away from a challenge.
And from Moscow, Russia, weighing in at 187 pounds, the World Heavyweight Champion, Ilya Dragunov.
Even when you think you got Dragunov out, when he got his back against the wall, this man, like no other, just knows how to rise like a phoenix time and time again. We saw it at WrestleMania, we saw it at Backlash, and we saw it once more in Glasgow, Scotland, when he successfully defended his championship against Finn Balor. Finn Balor says he wants another go around with Ilya Dragunov. The Usos got a score to settle with the Judgment Day. Ilya Dragunov never one to turn away a fight. It all leads to this six-man tag team matchup. But I must mention what happened earlier tonight as well. Ilya Dragunov might be feeling a bit banged up after that backstage attack by Finn Balor. Ilya Dragunov, whether he's 100%, 50%, 80%, anywhere, Ilya Dragunov is going to drag his body down to the ring and he is going to fight. It's all he knows how to do. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Massive six-man tag team matchup on hand in your main event. One that could be crucial to the future of the Heavyweight Championship of the World here on SmackDown. It's been an action-packed night, no doubt about it. Liv Morgan defeating Kairi Sane to advance in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Dominik Mysterio. We've seen him down here, whether it's in the ring or at ringside, too many times, I gotta say, tonight. First ambushing Javon Evans after Javon had become #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. Evans getting back at Dom, distracting him and costing him that King of the Ring matchup against AJ Styles. Now Dom and Liv loom at ringside in the midst of this six-man tag team matchup as the Usos giving the works to Carlito, who returned to SmackDown a few weeks ago to align with Finn Balor and company. Remember, that was a matchup where it was Jimmy Uso versus Finn Balor. Jimmy Uso was the casualty to Carlito's return. Gotta feel good for Jimmy to get his hands on that big afro, that apple-eating, apple-spitting Carlito here tonight. It's a bad apple, that's what Carlito is. Jimmy Uso, I'm sure, would love to break out to some singles opportunities as well, just like his brother did. Unfortunately, ever since Jimmy Uso returned from injury, he has been engulfed right back into the war that put him on the shelf to begin with, and that's the Judgment Day. It's Carlito with a combination of strikes taking down Big Jim. Jimmy now sent to enemy territory, about the last place he wants to be. JD McDonough, who felt an Uso splash from Jimmy earlier tonight, now in the ring with Jimmy himself and gets sent to the outside. Former Cruiserweight champion is the Irish Ace, JD McDonough, the first man that Finn Balor recruited when the Judgment Day found their home on SmackDown was JD. Suicide dive to the outside. Jimmy might have got the jump over McDonough earlier tonight, but I think JD McDonough is now looking to write a different story. JD's been in the ring with all three of his opponents tonight in some sort of action, whether it's been tag or singles. Getting in there with Jimmy right now. Had a couple of singles encounters with Jay. Wait a minute here, moonsault by JD McDonough into the pinfall. Not over yet. Who will forget last year, Ilya Dragunov's really last rivalry in the Cruiserweight division before he started to take that next step here on SmackDown was a multiple-month war with JD McDonough. Those two men very familiar with each other. It's a double team there as Carlito comes in. Takes out Big Jim. Finn Balor said earlier tonight that it was an absolute travesty. It wasn't a fair fight, even though it's exactly what it was. But Finn Balor's idea for a fair fight would have been the Judgment Day being at ringside at Glass at the Castle. Now Balor, speaking of the such, tagged in and going right after a weakened Jimmy Uso. I'm sure the Judgment Day would love to isolate one of the members of this team. In this case, Big Jim, the legal competitor, trying to coast their way to victory. Here in Bakersfield, easier said than done. Big kick by Jimmy and a tag to the world's champion Ilya Dragunov. And we are back where we were at the OVO in Glasgow at Clash at the Castle with Ilya and Balor going at it. Remember last time out on SmackDown as well, we talked about it earlier tonight, Dragunov and AJ Styles falling short to Balor and Dom in a big-time tag team matchup. Oh, wait a minute here. Ilya Dragunov being distracted by Liv Morgan at ringside. Those extra numbers of the Judgment Day always going to play into their favor. This is exactly what Balor wanted back at Clash at the Castle to help him win the World Championship. Ilya now taken down off the distraction in the attack by the Prince. Just like that, Ilya Dragunov, his momentum cut short as Balor went for a cheap shot on Jimmy. You better keep your eye on the ball, Balor. Oh, wait a minute. Now he's going to go for one on Jay. Finn Balor, always an underhanded tactic. Always something with these men and women of the Judgment Day. Ilya Dragunov tried his best to come in a house of fire. The numbers game of the Judgment Day quickly dissolving that. Oof. Forearm by the world champion. Ilya here off the shoulder block. Floats over into the German suplex. Takes out Finn. Ilya Dragunov, I'm sure, would love to deliver another H-bomb right to the jawline of Finn Balor and shut him up once and for all tonight. Tag made to main event Jay. Jay and Balor back in the ring. Back where we started at the top of this show. Jay going right after the Prince. Jey Uso certainly fired up himself and Jimmy waiting weeks to get their hands on the Judgment Day. Balor eating super kicks like that's on the menu for Thursday night dinner. Tag made to JD McDonough. Balor getting the hell out of Dodge as Jay might have been going for an Uso splash, and it allows McDonough to try to play catch up for the Judgment Day here. Sending Jay right to the buckles, collapse them. These guys trying for the cheap shots as if Ilya and Jimmy don't have their eyes on the canvas. No one said the Judgment Day was all that bright at times, and now in an electric chair, the former United States champion himself, Jey Uso. What the hell's Dom doing in the ring? Dominik Mysterio in the ring. Jey Uso gonna take him out with a cheap shot. And there's McDonough coming from behind. This is what I'm talking about. Get Dom and Liv the hell away from ringside. Changing the trajectory of this matchup as it progresses. Referee Chad Patton certainly with his hands full with all these moving parts here in the midst of this six-man tag team main event. Might as well be 5-on-3. Carlito now tagged back in as Jey Uso trying to get his wits about him, but JD McDonough taking him out moments ago. Thanks to that distraction with the Cruiserweight champion, Dirty Dom. I don't know how getting inside of the ring isn't resulting in immediate being thrown out of ringside, but who should we be to question the referee's decision? Carlito, I don't know if it's wise to throw hands with that wild Samoan. Float over DDT. Jey Uso now fighting his way in enemy territory. Down goes McDonough. And Carlito off the schoolboy. We're going to put this matchup away. Not just yet. And it could have been a huge win for the Judgment Day. Jey goes after Finn as well. Jey Uso single-handedly crunching the numbers and eliminating the Judgment Day one at a time. Carlito now sent into what is his enemy territory. Big drop kick by Main Event Jey. Tag made to Big Jim. Tag made to Finn Balor. Fresh legs on both sides of the ring, but Jimmy Uso is going to be the first to connect with contact. Ooh. Bakersfield's been hot and heavy all night. An energetic crowd for an energetic evening here on SmackDown. Action-packed it has been. Jey Uso a little shot on Finn that time, and now Jimmy just gonna rub some salt in those open wounds. Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, they waited patiently for weeks. Watch what transpired at Clash at the Castle. Watch what the Judgment Day were doing here on SmackDown. Pick their moment and look to get even with their group once and for all tonight. Finn Balor looking to cut that momentum short. And another cheap shot. How many damn cheap shots are the Judgment Day going to take in this matchup? Take out Jey and Giulia. Down goes Jimmy. Into the cover goes Finn Balor. Jimmy Uso able to survive. Jey and Giulia back on the apron where they belong at the moment. Tag made to Carlito. The Judgment Day trying to keep each other fresh here as Jimmy Uso's looking worse for wear. Off that brain buster by the Prince. Oof. And Carlito's put on some size. Since his old days in WWE, muscular frame, guy's in great shape. It's a shame he associates with the Judgment Day unit. Jimmy Uso wobbly and taken out. Jimmy Uso looking up at the lights of Mechanics Bank Arena here in Bakersfield as Carlito goes over to plan their next move, talk some strategy with the Judgment Day, and out tags in a former Cruiserweight champion at JD McDonough. And now Jimmy on the shoulders. Devil inside. Well, this may be all she wrote here, but Giulia Dragunov says, nuh-uh, not today. Jimmy Uso just taking everybody's best shots, and thankfully the world champion ensuring that the six-man tag team matchup is far from done. Jimmy needs a hand here. Needs to find a window. There you go. Closed fist may do it. One kick, make it a deuce. Ooh. Big Jim far from done. That heart's still pumping. Blood still moving through those veins. Tag made to Jey. The Usos now looking for a one D on McDonough. Oh, and Carlito going to ensure that a pinfall not to be had. Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso bringing their best shots. And wait a minute here. Now Dirty Dom trying to distract Jey Uso. Jey cannot allow this. JD McDonough coming from behind. Jey now. Oh, there's too much going on. Dominik Mysterio grabbing the boot of Jey Uso. Referee Chad Pat needs to get Dominik and Liv the hell away from ringside. Jey's getting ganged up on. Jey Uso gonna do what he always does, and that's continue to fight. Takes JD McDonough down. Remember, McDonough just suffered that 1D moments ago. Maybe surviving, but far from thriving. Another float over. JD McDonough down. JD McDonough out on enemy side of the ring. Jey up top. Ooh, so splash. Second one McDonough's taken in the last 2 hours, and that's going to get the victory for the Usos and Giulia.
Here are your winners. The team of Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Giulia Dragunov.
You know, Balor could have came in and broken up that pinfall, but I think he realizes this is a game Usos tonight, that those two men were fired up and were waiting for this moment for weeks. Add the world champion Ilya Dragunov to that, and this trio, at least tonight, was a match for the Judgment Day. But if we know anything about the Judgment Day, they ain't gonna stay lying down for long here on Thursday Night SmackDown.